Hey guys, welcome back to part 5 of Nate Watches the Star Wars franchise for the first time. And this is part 5 of the series. We're going to be talking about Rogue One tonight. And I just made fun of Nate off camera about hitting the table. And I just did it.
And you just did it.
So, I know, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get rolling on this. So, Nate watched Rogue One and general sense of the movie overall.
Yep. So like we talked about, and you told me, this is a war movie first, and then it's a Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. And I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that was a very good assessment because it was much more focused on that segment, and that was the main driver of the story. So
Right.
Enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was a great movie. But it was definitely more of an afterthought, and you could tell. Of, hey, let's fit this in to our storyline.
And skillfully done.
Absolutely.
But absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Some of my thoughts. All right, K2SO looks like the Iron Giant.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
All I could think about the entire time was like I expected him to go up in the air and blow up with a bomb.
Yeah, instead he got shot to pieces and did the heroic thing for a droid.
Yeah. So actually, it's a lot like the Iron Giant. Different modes of death, but yeah. That's funny. Mm-hmm. Well, good for them. The senator in the background is the one that raised Leia, right?
Senator Organa.
That's it. I couldn't think of his name.
Yes.
That was because he popped up in the back, and I think he had one line, maybe. One or two lines.
Yeah, I think he talks about going to get his friend or something like that.
Yeah.
Informing his powerful friend or something, and referring to Obi-Wan.
Yeah, somebody that he trusts.
Well, the trust issue, I think, was referenced towards Leia.
Oh, that's right.
We just didn't know that was going to happen yet.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe, okay. So that's who
I think that was
referring to.
Yeah,
okay.
Somebody I would trust. I don't remember exactly what the line is. So surprisingly, I don't know which exact quote it is from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I know. I saw him in the background when he first appeared, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Yep. So.
Yep.
But Forrest Whitaker is looking rough.
Yes.
I think on purpose, though.
Yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I think. The character is Saul Guerrera.
Yeah.
Which is his
character.
They went back in Clone Wars after we're going backwards again. We go backwards a lot in Star Wars.
Apparently.
Because Zach and I personally don't like to go forwards at all because we've seen what bad things can happen. And you will too.
Okay.
But they went back and gave...
There'd be nightmares there, boy.
The whole Saul Guerrera character, I think... Yes, Forrest Whitaker is aging what appears to be rapidly, but I think they made him really come across as being a lot more than he actually
was. That's good. I'm used to 14-year-old Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, he was a kid.
Yeah. So that was a little bit shocking. The movie does further validate the point about the Clerks conversation. About contractors being on the Death Star when it blew up, because obviously the Orso,
Galen Erso,
not Ortho.
Ortho was from Masters of the Universe, but you wouldn't know that. What an Ortho?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Oh, that's before your time then too.
I guess so. All this is before my time.
Yes,
but he was obviously a good dude. Right, and he was working on the Death Star, so he can't be the only one who's a good person or an innocent. Well, he wasn't exactly innocent, but
right. And that's the cool thing about a lot of the series that they have now is you start seeing the other side of
the regular people.
Yeah.
You'll get to the Mandalorian, and you'll find out that the Ugnaught Quill was. I know you'll get there.
Yeah.
Was he worked for the Empire, but he wasn't a bad person. He worked for him.
That was his job.
That was his job.
All
it was that simple. Yeah.
Right.
So
Because I'd always heard, obviously, I love Clerks, and I'd watched
Yeah.
it, and I was like, all right, I get enough of the references, I guess, to kind of see what they're talking about, but I never had a side. I really didn't care enough. But
Right.
now I get it, and I agree. So. All right, one of my other points, Jedi Bruce Lee.
Cheerios.
Mm-hmm.
Cheer it.
Cheer it. That was sweet.
I won the Force, and the Force is with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like, that was awesome.
pretty cool.
And he had some moves, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
For being a blind guy.
For being a blind, he was like the Star Wars version of the guy from Book of Eli.
Yes. Yes.
Just
Yeah.
do
he was
his
awesome.
thing. Except you don't know he's blind till the end, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So that brings up a point. Did you notice the odd relationship that Baze and Chirrut had? It was just a weird,
yeah.
and I don't know if that was an intentional, like behind the scenes bromance that they had going on, or if it was an actual
I can see that.
love, or if it was like a brother thing. But you know, I've known you guys forever, and maybe I don't know, maybe we had the underlying tone. Don't comment in the sections. Don't comment. But yeah, I felt it was weird. It was just weird.
It was an odd relationship.
Yeah.
It was definitely a closeness that's more, I think, in my opinion, a little bit more than just buddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
It was just a weird thing.
But it never like came right out and said that.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know. Maybe I just read into it more than.
I don't know. I feel like you're kind of spot on with that.
Well, and the thing is, the actor that played Baze, I don't think he really spoke any fluent English. So I wonder if, because those two were filming so often together, if he just was kind of attached to
Could be.
the guy because, you know, I don't know. I'd
Huh.
like to know some lore behind that, maybe.
Fair.
If those guys did have a bromance going on, or
It looked
It
like
was
a
more-
romance to me. I don't know.
yeah,
This had a very good way of showing the end of the Jedi and the knowledge, gaining the knowledge to destroy the Death Star.
yes,
Right, like the end of the Jedi, they're pulling from their temple the
kyber crystals.
sure, yeah,
I knew where you were going with that.
the
yeah.
rubies, the Spyro gems to power their lightsabers, right?
Yeah, Sonic's rings. Yes.
No, I don't get that.
Yes. Sonic.
No,
The
no,
Hedgehog.
No,
Wow.
Spyro, yes,
Okay. All right.
but obviously temple's been abandoned. They're like mining it at this point, so obviously that is gone and forgotten. And they talk about Karako. What's the evil emperor or the evil? Oh my goodness, Krennic. Thank you. Wow, struggling with that one.
Glad you got that one. I didn't know where he was going.
Krennic makes comments about like Lord Vader's old dead religion, and it just
Right.
Yes. Further solidified the coffin for the Jedi Order.
Yes.
So I thought that was very
Yeah,
interesting.
they haven't seen him for decades now at this point.
Yeah. So, also did not know the Death Star can move.
Apparently, the Death Star can travel through hyperspace, which was never a thing in the original trilogies because we never thought about it.
Okay. Well, growing up, obviously I've like played Star Wars video games, like mostly just Battlefront 2, when I was younger. So I got like some of the material,
Yep.
but I thought it was a stationary or like a static battle station.
Right. Right.
Did not realize it could do that.
Well, I did too. Growing up, I had no idea, and then when they were like, "Oh, it can travel through hyperspace," I was like, "That kind of makes sense."
After they start talking, yeah, it does make sense because you got to be able to move it. But I thought it just like rotated.
So you assumed that when it destroyed Alderaan, that it was in Alderaan's close vicinity, or
No, I thought they just.
oh, that's right, we're jumping ahead. That was you watched episode 4. Sorry, viewers,
True.
I just jumped way ahead.
It's okay.
He has watched episode 4.
Watch 4. We're gonna do that video later, but
Yes.
yeah, I thought it just even before this movie, I thought it just probably pivoted like a turret.
Shot across the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't hit anything.
Yeah. No. You'll get into that in
Little
episode 7. Sadly.
Postal carrier coming through space and just obliterates it.
Yeah. You'll get into that in episode 7. Heat-seeking guided energy beams that can
Split off.
Sweet.
Yes, yes.
And some Raytheon tech stuff. I like it.
I can't wait for you to watch 7, 8, and 9. You may love it. I doubt it.
Those are the ones you don't like, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
We don't. In fairness,
I don't like
it's in fairness. It's not that I don't like them. They had their moments, and there's like 2, but they had a couple moments that were good. But the weird, jarring Star Warsy stuff I don't know how I want to say this. The things that did happen in 7, 8, and 9 were so jarring to me that I didn't feel like I was in Star Wars universe anymore. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I can't wait to discuss those with you.
I'm probably gonna love them.
You probably will.
Just out of spite.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
So.
This was filmed after Carrie Fisher died,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Because the CGI at the very, very end.
Oh no! She was alive.
She's alive.
She's alive,
Uh-huh.
but she was still obviously
She's
older
way
than she
older.
needed
Correct.
to be
Way, yeah.
in the movies. All right.
Yeah.
Because the CGI at the end, I thought they did a good. You could tell.
You didn't think that was jarring on Leia at the end? I mean, you could tell. You kind of were watching it and went, "Oh yeah, they CGI'd that," or was it more like, "Wait a minute, how did they?" Oh,
You could tell
yeah,
that they had CGI'd her in,
yeah,
and mostly because I knew like Carrie Fisher was in my mind because I'm younger, has always been older.
Mm-hmm.
So to see Carrie Fisher as a young person,
younger than what you are now,
younger than what I am now, it was like, okay, obviously that's not her.
Right.
But I thought it was done well. Like it wasn't.
There was another character that was CGI'd also.
Which one?
That would have been Moff Tarkin.
Which one was that?
He is the one above Director Krennic that
tall,
actually
skinny
Oh.
guy.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that.
Peter Cushing has been gone for years, and so it wasn't that jarring then.
No, that one
Now-
was not because I wouldn't have guessed it.
I know for a fact when Zach and I went and watched Rogue One, we went and saw it. We got fortunate enough to have an early screening at a theater, and we watched it before the day before it opened, and I was impressed. But you need to go back and watch that because his eyes are kind of dead
Really?
in the scenes, and it was an actor that came in and voiced Tarkin.
Okay.
But they had the mocap suit on. But yeah, go back and watch it. And I mean,
I'm
you'll
gonna have
spot
to
it now
now.
that I've told you that.
Right.
But we both knew that Tarkin was dead, and we kind of had that moment in the movie theater where we were like, "It's not too bad.
It's really
but-
not bad.
But we know we
Especially
obviously-
since that was like the first time I think that we'd ever seen that type of tech where they tried to
right rebuild.
really do a good job of rebuilding an old,
Yeah.
not try to do them like as a ghost or something like that where they could make them
Yeah.
take some liberties with it. But this was like they wanted them to look like a human.
Huh.
Yeah. No,
I
it's pretty
didn't
good. You have to
pick
go
up
back and watch it and
Yeah, I'm gonna have
see
to.
what you think. Just a couple scenes of it. And, I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive where the technology at the time, they were really striding pretty far forward.
Huh. All right.
So,
That's cool.
yeah.
But other than that, those were my points. Overall, I liked the film. I think you're right. It was it was well done, even as the aftermarket kind of thing. But yeah, I thought it was really good.
Vader
Yes.
at the end
Yes. It was
when he
very-
goes all beast mode.
It
I
was
mean,
very, very cool. I mean, he just
yeah.
unleashed.
So it's really interesting because you are watching these in chronological order,
Yes.
and I know that you did watch episode 4, which we'll get into in a moment, but watching episode 4, were you... episode 4 came out in 1977. I was a couple months old. And I remember growing up with it, watching it on TBS or whatever, and I was afraid of Darth Vader. But episode 4 established Darth Vader. So that's the Darth Vader I knew. I didn't know the end of Rogue One Darth Vader at that point. And I'm curious, when you watched episode 4, were you maybe more I don't know. I wonder if you were more respectful of his power than I was because we started in a different
Right.
watching it. Because when I watched Rogue One, I was like, holy crap, I forgot how terrifying Vader was when I was a kid.
Right.
And I wonder now, watching the end of Rogue One, if you're going into episode 4, 5, and 6 going, don't mess with this dude.
Right.
Because, I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah. Well, and especially the build-up, because I am watching in that chronological order. Because now I've seen him go from little Anakin into, the trainee, into breaking out on his own.
Yeah.
And now he's in his full form of evil, destruction, kill everybody, I own the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it kind of made sense, right? Because it was that arc
Right.
of him. So it wasn't like a big shock to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, just, watching them at different times. Me watching episode 4 first, you watching at least Rogue One going into episode 4, you saw
Right.
just a different thing that I hadn't seen it.
Well, it probably is more of like you get to the fight scene with Obi-Wan at the end of 4 and you're like, wait a minute, this is the same dude that just like mowed down like 10 guys with guns in like no time at all?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's kind of struggling with this old dude?
So he's a little
what's
bit more
going on?
tame in
Yeah.
the first ones.
Oh, very, very,
Gotcha.
very terrifying, but tame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else? Can you think of anything else?
Nope.
Can't either. But oh yeah, I can. Ranking at this point.
Oh, yes. I would say right now.
There's no wrong answers, but
Right.
we'll make fun of you if you say the wrong thing.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm aware. So I've seen 1, 2, 3, Solo, and Rogue One. I would say 3 is my favorite. Rogue One is secondary.
Okay.
And then probably 2, 3, Solo.
2, 1.
Or I'm sorry,
Solo.
2, 1,
Yeah.
Solo.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
I mean,
would be my
that's-
order right now.
Yep.
Well, I wholeheartedly don't disagree with you. No, Solo was.
Solo was throwaway.
Yeah.
It was
This one you didn't
entertaining.
need, but it does help reinforce 4.
Solo is kind of like when you're on a really long overseas flight and they come up to you at the end of the flight and they hand you that warm towel to wipe your face off and your hands and stuff. You could totally do without it. It's not that important. But it is. You're kind of like, I appreciate the fact that I got it, that if they didn't bring it to me, I wouldn't care.
I'm too poor to get that reference.
Yeah, me too.
I've only done it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So, all right. So we're gonna, we're gonna cut this video and we're gonna move straight over into episode 4, which we'll release next. But thanks for coming out, Nate.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
you.
for having me.
And make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And if you guys want to see us do more of these, just overall videos as Nate's watching this Star Wars. What would you call it now? Went from a trilogy to epic. Is that what we'd be into now, or is it grown beyond epic?
I don't know, the saga.
Saga.
The Skywalker
Yeah.
saga
Saga,
is basically what you're watching.
There we go. All right. Well, hey, thanks, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you in the next video.